Well, hello everybody. This is Thunder. Anamiki and Ojibwe is what my name is, or Wakia in Lakota. I was thinking about talking about the alternative to the alternative to the alternative because we have all of these people out there that call themselves quote unquote the alternative media as opposed to the mainstream media, which lies continually. Some of the alternative media people are okay, but the closer that you start looking into the matter, I've decided that I want to become an alternative to the alternative, or maybe an alternative to the alternative to the alternative. I don't know. I watch some of these people, like financial people and other people, on YouTube to get intel I call it, and it seems like they just keep repeating the same thing over and over and over and over again ad nauseum. And they got like 4,000 hits. And I'm like, do these people like to be tortured or I don't know. I mean, I hit them every once in a while just to see what's going on. But if you really want to think alternatively or outside the box, as pilots would say, myself being an old pilot, or a middle-aged pilot, or whatever kind of pilot you want to call me. Got to think outside the envelope. And these people all have an agenda. And it's like, okay, that's fine. But do you want to listen to somebody that is going to talk to you person to person like a friend? In other words, some of these people say, "Oh, I'm doing this for the good of mankind, or I'm going to teach you how to be a money manager or a real estate salesman or an entrepreneur while I tell you about all this horrible stuff that's going on in the world. And this is your way out. To be an entrepreneur, to buy gold, to do this, to do that." They all have an agenda. And with me, I like to just sit down and talk to people about what's really going on. Okay, and what's really going on is that the planet is going to hell in a handbasket. Um, and so is everything else. But we hear this repeated often enough, and if those of us who are awake realize that, hey, this is what's happening, and if you want to say guilty, I've been guilty of like telling people about things maybe they don't want to hear, and then I sugarcoat it, and then I do this and I do that, and it's like the real wisdom keepers of this planet, and most of them are Native American elders or indigenous people. And I say most because it's in all races. There's enlightened ones. Will sit down and talk to you face to face as if you are a good friend and give you counsel or receive counsel from you. In other words, just a two-way exchange that's from the heart, is truthful, and talking about, hey, what's going on here? Okay? What's going on? In other words, so there are caretakers of the planet, wisdom keepers, and they come from a long, long line of wisdom keepers or medicine men or shamans, or from the original source of everything. And sometimes I call that source the Ancient of Ancients, or In my tribe, it's the iridescent beings, okay, that came a long time ago to give instruction. And with the Hopi, it's the Wuya, the medicine people. And this is a tradition, okay, this is through lineage or through a calling, okay, for people to come out and speak from the heart and talk about some of the things that are going on, and in a way of like, what can we do about it, or what do you think we should do about it, or is there anything we can do about it, or how do we cope with it? Because people are having a hard time coping right now with what's going on here. And what's going on is unbelievable. Now, we know we're in a situation, and I won't put any time thing on this as far as, let's say, how bad a situation can get before it flips or flops and everybody's in dire trouble. I won't put a time limit on it, and you have to filter out the doom and gloom stuff that is real from the, or let's say the urgencies of the planet or the urgencies of mankind. You have to filter out what's real or what's sensationalized, and the alternative media are the most sensationalistic bunch. And I'm not saying that the stuff they're saying is wrong or anything like that. But what's the agenda? Now, my agenda is, I think like tribally, okay? I think clear-headed, I think cohesively. At least I try. So it would be like if there was a council, a tribal council, and somebody came to that council and asked, for a specific guidance, or specific guidance on a problem that's bothering them or their family or whatever, then this council of elders would pass the talking stick one to the other. And when you had that talking stick, you talked and nobody listened, and you said what you had to say, and you gave the counsel to that person that had a problem, and then you passed the talking stick on to the next elder or wise chieftain or whatever, whoever made up this council. And this person would listen to all of these different counsels or advice, and then it was up to them. They walked away from the council, and that was it. The council was over, and they left it up to that person whether they wanted to take advice, listen to them. But usually the reason you went to a council of elders is so you could get the right guidance excuse me, on your path, on your journey in life. Now, I think that that's the tack that I like with people, I like to take with people, is counsel, or just speaking words for consideration and hoping that you might get some kind of hearing ear. So that's what I'm all about, okay? Is speaking straight from the heart and asking people, what do you want to do, or what do you think we should do, or what's your idea, what's my idea, And so when I talk about things like the planet, Mother Earth, otherwise known in Lakota as Maka or Unsi, and Grandfather Sky, and our environment around us, and the machinations of the people that surround us, the government, the industrialized complex, and I'll get into this later. The tribal people would have just had a simple name for them, the Bluecoats, okay, or the settlers or whatever. So what we see right now are people confused, in chaos, okay? The world is in chaos because of the confusion, and this confusion is like boom, boom, boom. They're being bombarded from all sides. The alternative media is saying this, oh man, this is bad, and the regular mainstream media sometimes says it's bad, but most of the time they say, oh, look at these good job numbers, or look at this, or look at that. So you don't know because everybody's a liar, or everybody is stretching the truth, or half the people have an agenda which borders on lying. So who are you going to trust? Well, you have to trust somebody that earns your trust by the things they say, or it feels good to you what they're saying. It's not something that you shake your head at and go, I don't understand that, or why is that, or why does it have to be so bad, or I hear a lot of what you can do to survive, or what you can do to uh, support their agenda and survive by financial means, usually. Survival, survival, survival. You have to survive, man. And it's usually by financial means, or by buying gold, or by buying into their agenda, or supporting what they're doing, or but if you just want a place to go to, where you hear maybe some wisdom and truth, and somebody that's been around a while talk to you. And also I teach spiritual practices, shamanistic practices, meditation practices to help you calm down and get through to wherever all this is going. And maybe it's going nowhere. Maybe the wheels of the universe are spinning, and it's how you look at it. And it's how well you feel supported, or maybe have a kindred feeling with somebody else about, yeah, this makes sense, let's walk this path, let's go this way. And I'll tell you right now, my path is nature. My path is not big cities. My path is, even though I live in a big city, which I wish I didn't and I'm trying to get out of, my path is nature, and I go there as much as I can. My path is self-sufficiency in the form of being in oneness with nature, being in oneness with your spirit, coping with all of the things, that we see around us that try to distract us from this spirit and living in presence and being a free spirit on this planet. And everybody wants to make you a slave. We're all slaves. So we search for different media, alternative media, and this and that, and religious people. So I'm going to give the native thought and the Taoist thought equal time. and talk about things when I want to talk about them. I might not have a regular schedule, as I said before. I might not have a regular schedule as to, oh, I'm going to talk about this, but I feel a series of shows coming on, or because I feel like I need to speak. And I hope people listen, because you're not going to find salvation in people that are making you fearful in any way. Okay, just remember that. That are projecting fear in order to receive something. Like religion projects fear and guilt so that you will do their bidding for them, or obeisance to them, or whatever. Thus you will support them monetarily in every other way, by putting money in the contribution box or whatever, sending them money, leaving them money in wills. Religions are very, very adept at that. So that's a form of control through fear and guilt about, oh, you're going to go to hell if you don't do this and you don't do that. It's manipulative, it's deceitful. Just like the politicians. Okay. So you can't listen to a whole lot of people right now. You don't have a whole lot of choices as far as truth goes. You don't have too many choices with that. So maybe that's the way it's meant to be, that there would be just a few truth tellers about events on the planet and what we're doing wrong and how we're walking the wrong path. And even biblically, they talk about the Good Samaritan, and they talk about compassion, and they talk about those kind of things in that book and in other religious books. How many people really go by what they talk about? How many people practice what they preach? How many people... And I see factions hooking up here. It is like wolves in sheep's clothing almost, because you see people that say, hey, we're here to help you and all this stuff, religious people, alternative people, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But really, they have other agendas, okay? And I don't know what they are. Well, I do. Usually it's self-centered, what's the word I'm looking for here? Promotion of oneself and one's mode of living, or one's way of making a living, through this filter, okay, of I'm an alternative media guy, or I'm a truth guy, or I'm a truther, or I'm a prepper, and I'm here to help you. But yet some of them mislead you. Now, whether they're doing this intentionally or not, I don't know. We're all imperfect. But I just wanted to let you know that I'm here, and that I talk about all different kinds of things, and you can look at my videos in the past, and it usually has to do with indigenous thinking, tribal thinking, how we've gotten out of kilter, out of balance with the natural order of things. And that's on a spiritual level and on a physical level. What is above, I've said many times, is below. What we think, we manifest. The thing that really irks me are these people that you know, say one thing and do another. That's always been a problem with me because that's what they did to the native people of this land. Okay, is that they broke treaties, they killed people, they performed genocide, murder, all kinds of things. But mostly it was about the big lie. Oh, you can have this land, or we're going to make a treaty where you can live here or live there or do this and do that. But it was all a lie because they wanted to move people in for industrialization and manifest destiny. And I'll get into that later. I've already gotten into it. So I think I'll leave it there for today, but I'm going to put my websites down here, spiritofcrazyhorse.com and Native American Taoist. I say Tao with a D, but it's spelled Taoist, Native American Taoist, thenativeamericantaoist.com, and Spirit of Crazy Horse, where you can get my book, Listen to the Wind, Speak from the Heart, or Emergence, my other book, which I think you could very well learn some things from if you like the way I speak. So anyway, I'm going to end it here and check out the websites. And I appreciate any donations I get so that I can keep on the internet and up and running here. And I want to thank those from my heart who have donated already, and you know who you are. So until next time, I will say peace to you. Out.